Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that we've got a July sweeps update for you. So let's talk about all the excitement brewing in Salem. Some big revelations are going to shake things up and lead to some crushing blows. For starters, Sarah Horton Kyriakis will worry about her custody feud with Xander Kyriakis since she knows what he's capable of. Xander could do something illegal to get what he wants since he's hinted to Melinda Trask about that. If Dirty Xander does somehow manage to score full custody of Victoria Kyriakis, that could give Sarah a reason to lean on Brady Black even more. Brady and Sarah have been strengthening their connection lately, so could a romance be on the horizon? Regardless, there's a good chance Rachel Black will eventually find out that Sarah raised her for the first year of her life. There's been a lot of focus on that fact lately, and Brady pointed out that Rachel was never told the truth. Rachel may freak out when she first makes the discovery, but it could bring her closer to Sarah in the end. Could this story lead to Kristen DiMera's jealous meltdown? Kristen has honestly been behaving too well lately, so it's about time for her to go off the rails. If Sarah is stealing Brady's heart and taking over this faux mom role, that'll give Kristen some good reasons to lash out. As for Gwen Rizchech, she'll make a day's comeback starting July 7th, so it won't be long until she's shaking up the canvas again. Will Gwen reconnect with Xander romantically, or seek revenge on her former flame instead? In the meantime, Tate Black may end up deceived and devastated after Sophia Choi pretends she lost the baby. Once Sophia gives birth on her own and ropes Melinda Trask into assisting her, they may team up to sell Tate, Amy Choi, and everyone else on a bogus baby demise. Melinda may become part of another doctor bribery scheme, similar to the one she helped Sloane Peterson with when a doctor tricked Nicole Walker into thinking her own infant was deceased. Across town, Sophia's perfectly healthy baby should end up with Javi Hernandez and Leo Stark for a while, presumably following a fire station drop-off. Although Sophia will initially think all this deception is the way to go, she may fear she's made a mistake as this cover-up gets more complicated. Days spoilers say Johnny DiMera's life will get more complicated as well since he'll trust EJ DiMera to get him out of legal hot water. Chanel Dupree DiMera will feel like Johnny's dooming himself with this deal, and will definitely see the potential for it to backfire. Although Johnny will eventually be cleared in the attempted murder investigation, his marriage to Chanel will face more setbacks. Of course, Days will need to reveal who actually shot EJ sooner or later. Could that shocker finally come to light during July sweeps too? Days of Our Lives spoilers say some great stuff's ahead, so we'll bring you updates on any whodunit. News on the horizon. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal Alex Kyriakis finally got his wish when Stephanie Johnson agreed to let him publish her sizzling novel. Alex feels confident that One Stormy Night will be a runaway bestseller, and Kate Roberts Brady agrees it's sure to be a massive hit. Of course, Kate doesn't realize Stephanie is the author at this point. Stephanie would like to keep it that way since she's nervous about all those scandalous scenes and doesn't want anybody else knowing she's behind them. That's why Stephanie struck a rather ominous deal with Alex in Duel's June 27th episode. Stephanie insisted that if Alex could promise no one would ever find out she wrote this book, then he could publish it. Alex was thrilled, but that's obviously not a promise he can keep, at least not on a soap like Days. The harder Stephanie fights to keep her connection to this novel under wraps, the more explosive things are going to be when the truth comes out. Days spoilers say Stephanie will move forward with publishing One Stormy Night under a pseudonym, but this secret's going to unravel anyway. This feels like the kind of shocker that's sure to blow up some big event, so it just might be the inevitable book launch party. Since One Stormy Night is going to help revive the publishing division, you can bet Alex and Kate will want to fast-track it for success. The book launch bash could be happening sooner than anyone expects, so Stephanie might attend the event and pretend she's just there to support Alex. It'd give Stephanie a chance to soak up all the praise and buzz without actually taking credit. However, the night could eventually take an unexpected turn. Stephanie's secret might go public at the book launch and turn the party into her worst nightmare. It's too early to say how exactly Stephanie's author revelation might blow up. Days will have to let Stephanie's secret fall into the wrong hands somehow, and set the stage for all the horror. Regardless, Stephanie will no doubt lose control of the situation and end up mortified. You can bet Stephanie will reel over this scandalous shocker, and could perhaps blame Alex when her plan ends in catastrophe. Days of Our Lives, spoilers say the countdown is on when it comes to Stephanie's disaster, so stay tuned for updates on any jaw-dropping news to come. Days of Our Lives spoilers update for the week of June 30th, July 4th reveals that EJ DiMera will stand by Johnny DiMera's innocence, especially now that his sons confirmed he wasn't the one who pulled the trigger. EJ will scheme to get Johnny off the hook, but Chanel Dupree DiMera definitely won't think he can be trusted. Even so, Johnny will have faith in his father's plot and hope that EJ can get him out of this mess. At some point, Belle Black will receive a manila envelope containing the memory card from the night EJ got shot. Will EJ lose control of it, or could Belle get some manipulated footage as part of his plan? Over with Brady Black and Kristen DiMera. Days spoilers say they'll get into a heated argument over Rachel Black. Marlena Evans will end up helping Kristen and Brady as they try to navigate Rachel's issues. It's not Rachel's fault that Johnny got arrested, but she might blame herself anyway. Next, Ariana Ari Horton will put Doug Williams III through a grilling session. Will Doug land in a tight spot as he tries to hide his romantic interest in Holly Jonas? Speaking of Holly, she'll have a reconciliation with Tate in the coming episodes. It sounds like Tate and Holly will finally reunite, so she'll be there to support him through the storm that's brewing. Days spoilers say Sophia Choi will give birth in her bedroom and decide on some deception, so she'll rope Melinda Trask into helping her pull off some sneakiness. It looks like Sophia may leave her baby at the fire station, where Javi Hernandez will get pulled into the story and take the newborn back to the Hernandez house. Leo Stark will meet this little one soon after and may fall in love on the spot. As for Melinda, she bribed a doctor to claim Nicole Walker's baby was deceased during the Jude Brady story. Will Melinda rely on a similar tactic now and get a doctor to convince Tate that Sophia's baby was stillborn? Whatever the case, all the baby drama is sure to get messy as this dual storyline moves along. Other day spoilers say Sarah Horton Kyriakis will use Maggie Kyriakis as a confidant before Maggie has another tense conversation with Xander Kyriakis. Sarah will also get some support from Brady, so she'll have people to lean on as she deals with the escalating custody feud. Across town, Steve Johnson will have some updates for Julie Williams, so he may have some info to pass along about her necklace. As for Kate Roberts Brady, she'll suspect Stephanie Johnson might be the author behind One Stormy Night. Will Alex Kyriakis lie for Stephanie and perhaps point to another writer instead? Days of Our Lives spoilers say Alex will have a proposal for Stephanie to consider regarding her book, so don't miss what he has in mind. Time flies when you're having fun, and on June 27th, Cherie Jimenez realized just how much fun she has been having in Salem. 1 year as Gabriela Hernandez DiMera, she marveled, marking her anniversary on social media. To be part of the iconic legacy that is Days of Our Lives has been a dream. Portraying a Spitfire who is as unpredictable as Ari's mother has been nothing to sneeze at either. Bringing this character to life has been the greatest gift, said the actress, who succeeded Camila Banus. I truly love playing Gabi. Thank you, she added, to everyone who has shown me love and support this past year. It means the world to me, truly. Hey, Jimenez has earned the accolades and applause. It's not for nothing that she made Soaps.com's list of Daytime's all-time best recasts. In an older post, Jimenez noted that, at 22 years old, an audition for the role of Gabi on Days of Our Lives came into my life. It was not meant for me then. Now, 15 years later, at 36 years old, the universe told me I was ready to step into this role. I am just beginning. Days of Our Lives spoilers. Reveal a preview clip has been released for the week of June 30th, 2025. It shows Sophia Choi delivering her baby alone at home. Belle Black gets some evidence dropped in her hands. Literally. Plus, Johnny DiMera is arrested. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the Peacock soap opera. It is teased that during the week of June 30th, Sophia freaks out. The preview clip explains why. Sophia is alone in her bedroom and goes into labor. It seems that nobody hears Sophia, so the house might be empty. In any case, Sophia has the baby, and as she holds the little newborn, she says nobody can see him, her. Well, first of all, everyone knows Sophia is pregnant, so why does she want to hide the baby? Is she having some kind of postpartum mental instability? Is she just not thinking clearly? In the Horton Town Square, Chanel Dupree Demera will rush up just as Johnny is getting arrested. The bakery owner will want an explanation. Johnny tells her in front of Jada Hunter and EJ Demera that he's being arrested for attempted murder. Later, Johnny asks his father, "You're not going to do anything crazy, right?" Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that the preview clip shows Belle walking into her office to find an envelope. When the lawyer opens the envelope, a flash drive drops in her hand. It sounds like Belle and fans will finally find out who shot EJ. However, will the video actually catch the shooter? What if they were wearing a mask or stood right out of the camera's view? Fans will also see Chanel have a confrontation with EJ. The bakery owner says, "The way I see it, Johnny has made a deal with the devil." Then, the narrator teases that a book blurs all the lines. At Brady's pub, Kate Roberts Brady meets with Alex Kyriakis and Stephanie Johnson. Kate asks if Stephanie is the author of One Stormy Night. Chances are that Alex might cover and claim that Stephanie is doing PR for the real author, who wants to remain hidden. However, secrets always have a way of coming out, don't they? Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on Peacock to find out what is coming up next. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that Eric Brady returned for John Black's funeral. The former priest also officiated Paul Narita and Andrew Donovan's wedding. There have been hints that there is trouble in paradise between Nicole. So, could Nicole Walker Brady come back for one final face-off? Keep reading, and let's talk about what could happen next with this storyline. Let's begin with Holly Jonas's high school graduation. Fans watched as the Salem teens got ready to close the book on their high school years. It was mentioned that Eric and Nicole were both at the graduation. However, the blonde mentioned to Aaron Green that they weren't even speaking to each other. Holly didn't seem confused, so it sounds like the couple has been at odds for a while now. After the graduation, Eric stayed in Salem while Nicole flew back to Paris with their son. Eric also mentioned that his relationship isn't going so well right now. That explains why Nicole was off-screen. And maybe it was just to explain her not being shown at Holly's graduation. At the same time, it could suggest that Eric and Nicole are about to split. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that in the past few weeks, Sloane Peterson has been mentioned. It was also mentioned to Melinda Trask, since she was the one who helped kidnap Nicole's baby and give him to Sloane. So, maybe their marriage isn't working out as well as they hoped. For them to not even speak to each other at graduation, it must be pretty serious. It should also be noted that Nicole didn't show up to support Eric or anyone else during John's death. At least be there for Marlena Evans. Back when Ariane Zucker left Duel, she said she would never go back again. Actors have said this before, then stunned viewers with another return. However, I really think Ari meant it, especially when you consider the circumstances she had to work on set before. Even though things might be different now, the Nicole chapter is likely closed for good. There is also the fact that Ari sued the soap. That pretty much bans her from working on Duel ever again. No company is going to rehire the employee who sued them. A recast is always possible, but fans don't take recasts very well. So, maybe it's time for Eric to find his new beginning again. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on Peacock to find out what is coming up next. Days of Our Lives spoilers and updates tease Sophia Choi will give birth to her baby alone, and then hide the delivery. She bundles the newborn up. Then she says to the baby she can't let anyone see him or her. And later, Javi Hernandez proudly presents a bundled-up baby to Leo Stark. Sophia has been getting closer to her estimated delivery date, even being taken to the hospital the night of the prom. But it was only Braxton Hicks contractions. In other words, false labor. But expectant mothers who have had them will tell you they are definitely precursors to the real thing. And sometimes the real labor goes quicker. Sometimes after as much as 2 to 3 weeks of Braxton Hicks contractions, all of a sudden real labor will strike. Sometimes a mother in real labor won't know it until her water breaks. It sounds like Sophia perhaps took for granted that the pains she was feeling were Braxton Hicks contractions, and possibly her water breaks, and the baby is born very quickly. But as shown in the dual weekly preview video, she doesn't want anyone to see the baby. Perhaps the father isn't who she says, and people could tell. Since in the video, we see her with the baby already bundled up in what appears to be a chenille bedspread, one can tell no one called 911 for assistance. The bed doesn't look wet, but she may have given birth on a chair or in the bathroom, possibly into the bathtub. No one wants to think she used the toilet to birth. Now, Javi has just decided to return to being a fireman and entered training. But he definitely didn't assist in this birth, as shown by Sophia holding the bundled-up newborn. Many fire stations have a drawer that kind of works like a deposit drawer at a bank. At least when banks were built for people to make night deposits with cash. There are signs on them for mothers who cannot keep their newborns to put them there if they have to abandon the baby, as opposed to something much worse. Chances are, Sophia puts her baby in a baby deposit drawer in the fire station, knowing he or she will go to someone loving and caring. With no adoption set up, and Amy Choi determined for a wedding for Tate Black and Sophia, she may feel it's her only choice. So Javi brings home a sweet abandoned newborn as a gift to Leo, and perhaps even proposes a quickie marriage so they can adopt their own child legally. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with Duel right now. Come back here often for Days of Our Lives spoilers, news, and updates. In 2023, Camila Banus announced that she would be leaving Days of Our Lives, upsetting fans who grew to love her feisty run as Gabi Hernandez. However, in June 2024, Cherie Jimenez debuted as the new Gabi and soon won the doubting fans' hearts. When she stepped in her new character's shoes, she hit the ground running and has been on a wild ride ever since. Jimenez recently celebrated 1 year on the soap, thrilling her enthusiastic fans. Jimenez shared quite a few screenshots on Instagram from her year at Days, writing, "Un year as Gabriela Hernandez de Mera. To be part of the iconic legacy that is at Days Peacock has been a dream. Bringing this character to life has been the greatest gift. I truly love playing Gabi. Thank you to everyone who has shown me love and support this past year. It means the world to me. Truly." Greg Ricart excitedly responded, "Queen!" While Al Calderon, who plays Leo's boyfriend, Javi, wrote, "You are the sun and the moon." Abigail Klein chimed in with the wonderful, "All we need is more." Meanwhile, Julie Dove, who played former baddie Connie, lovingly replied, "It's been an amazing year. I'm so proud of you. Love you." Dan Feuerriegel, whose character EJ constantly clashes with Gabi, affectionately responded, "Gabi managed the infamous sibling slider W the Demaras." Ardent fans will no doubt recall that when Gabi wanted to stick it to Stefan, she ended up sleeping with EJ as revenge. She is so beloved, even the show's official Instagram account wrote, "A wonderful year." Just to show how the fans have come to embrace Jimenez in the role, one commented, "I never thought the old Gabi could ever be replaced, but you have stepped it up, girl, and are doing an amazing job. All we need now is to see you more and more and more on screen, lol." And amid the congratulations, one fan summed up the collective response with, "You're doing great. I love you as Gabi." The Monday, June 30th episode of Days of Our Lives picked up where Friday's episode ended, with Johnny's arrest. Should this situation have been handled differently? Johnny and EJ insisted on Johnny's innocence, but it does look bad for him. How did this arrest happen? After Gabi told Rafe that she realized Johnny was the one arguing with EJ the night of the shooting, he confronted Johnny. Johnny confessed that he was there that night and he did argue with his father. And, oh yeah, he did threaten his dad with a gun, but he ultimately gave the gun to his father. Nobody knows how it landed in the planter outside the DeMera mansion. Things apparently snowballed after that. Rafe called Jada and told her what was up and what he had learned. Before deciding what to do, Jada consulted Belle, who then consulted Paulina. It was the mayor who made the decisive and divisive order to have Johnny arrested. Now, normally, mayors do not have the power to order arrests, unless they are peace officers, which sometimes happens in small towns. Still, while it did seem necessary to bring Johnny in for questioning, arresting him immediately and handcuffing him in the middle of Horton Town Square seemed like overcompensation. But the conflicts of interest here are abundant. Paulina removed Belle from the case since she's Johnny's aunt. But Paulina is his mother-in-law. Maybe a deputy mayor or someone other than Paulina could have made the call. Meanwhile, Chanel blamed Paulina. And so their sometimes rocky relationship has taken a sudden turn for the worse. Also, Rafe assumed that Jada would bring Johnny in for questioning. But did he even think about all the ways his plan could go wrong? In addition, he called out Jada for making a bad move. However, Rafe took it upon himself to call Jada about this matter without telling anybody in Johnny's family. Mistakes and assumptions have been made. And now Roman is a part of this since he turned the alleged attempted murder weapon into Jada. He has held on to that gun for months. Will his actions be questioned? What did you think of all the different interactions and decisions made? Let us know in the comments. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Tuesday, July 1st. Demonstrate that it's now how old you are, but how helpless you are, as Brady and Kristen fight over Rachel, and EJ and Chanel draw battle lines over Johnny. Now that Johnny has told pretty much all of Salem that he had a gun, but he didn't shoot EJ, Rachel doesn't need to keep her secret anymore, which should put an end to her mysterious stomach aches. It doesn't, however, put an end to Brady and Kristen sniping over what's best for her. That crisis may be over, but considering how many times it's been mentioned recently that Sarah raised Rachel for a year before Brady and Kristen got her back, is there another crisis looming on the horizon? Johnny isn't a child, like Rachel, but EJ still sees him as one. More worrying, so does his wife. Chanel goes storming over to her father-in-law's home to yell at him about Johnny. They need to take care of him. So do Roman, Marlena, and Kate. Because everyone agrees, Johnny is not capable of doing that himself. It may be summertime, and they may have graduated from high school, but Sophia and Tate aren't exactly taking it easy. Sophia reminds Tate they still need to find adoptive parents for their baby, because the due date is sooner rather than later. Meanwhile, Ari continues making herself at home by looking up Doug and seeing if they can pick up where they left off. Not exactly friends, more like vague acquaintances with benefits. Days of Our Lives spoilers photos for the July 1st 25 episode tease a guilty until proven innocent Johnny. After Johnny and EJ's big reconciliation, where Johnny revealed he wasn't the one who shot his father, and EJ admitted he had been trying to protect his son all along, the two didn't walk off into the sunset like they expected. Instead, Jada appeared and placed Johnny under arrest for EJ's shooting. Now, held at the SPD, Johnny will get a visit from Chanel, presumably to bail her husband out. But when EJ walks in, Chanel will have some choice words for her father-in-law, who has caused nothing but trouble and pain for the couple for months. Got a sizzling fan theory? Email news@soaphub.com. Yours could be our next hot topic. Here are your Days of Our Lives spoilers for Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. After watching her husband get arrested in Horton Town Square, Chanel is on a tear. She believes Johnny when he tells her he is innocent and is determined to make sure he never spends a full night in jail. Chanel lays into her mother for allowing this to happen, but Paulina defends herself and her role as mayor. EJ is just as determined as Chanel to make sure Johnny is exonerated. He meets with a judge who is able to get Johnny released quickly. Johnny is ready to trust his father to do what's right, but Chanel doesn't trust EJ and lets him know it. She thinks Johnny has cut a deal with the devil and doesn't like him relying on his father to obtain his freedom. EJ clearly has something more up his sleeve, and Chanel is determined to find out what it is before Johnny ends up in even more trouble than before. Sophia is still determined to find an adoptive family for her baby before she gives birth, but that is proving to be easier said than done. She updates Tate on the latest with Melinda and tells him she feels hopeless. The baby is due any day, and thanks to Brady's words, Melinda refuses to represent her and find adoptive parents. Sophia feels she keeps taking one step forward and two steps back in her quest to give her baby up for adoption. Tate still doesn't see the big deal and is fine if a family is found after the baby is born, so long as it's the right family and they don't make any rash decisions. However, Sophia doesn't want anyone getting attached to the baby. especially Tate. Is all this stress good for Sophia? She has already had one false labor scare. The stress can cause another one, or it could cause real labor before Sophia is even remotely ready to give birth. Is Amy Choi ready for the big moment? Welcome to the Days of Our Lives Daily YAPP. For a quick, and by that, I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. It was a small Days of Our Lives moment in Horton Town Square, but it seemed to say a lot. EJ and Belle ran into one another and looked very much like a natural couple. Now that Belle is not trying to run from her feelings for EJ, she is embracing them instead and acting like EJ is her boyfriend in private and in public for a change. He may have been married to her sister multiple times, but Belle seems more at ease with EJ than she has been with Sean over the last decade. Sean and Belle had been having marital troubles since 2015 until their latest split. Maybe that's because Belle had outgrown her high school sweetheart. Now, she is with a man who she knows does no good whenever he can, but she seems to be okay with it because EJ keeps Belle on her toes. In fact, she rather enjoys EJ's cryptic answers to almost every question. She knows darn well that he is bending the truth, for lack of a better term. As district attorney, Belle feels she can't be responsible for what she doesn't know, so she seems to want to keep it that way. Belle lets EJ go about his business, while he gives her a little excitement and apparently a very good time in bed. What can be better for this unusual soap couple? Want more details? We got you! Soap Central has the best full duel recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each and every one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode, we have daily spoilers too. And whatever you do this weekend, do not, seriously, do not forget to read the 2 scoops for some laughs in the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is if you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below.